Hey, it's Ethan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the RockyMounts Monorail Hitch Bike Rack and how it fits on our 2022 Toyota Tacoma. This is going to be a 2-bike platform style bike rack capable of supporting up to 60 pounds per bike. There is an additional add-on though if you want to get another bike on here. It's going to hold on to our bike primarily with this front wheel hook as well as one additional strap down at the bottom. So if you want to mix and match, get some carbon frame bikes on here, you can. There's no frame contact, so they're not going to damage them while you're driving. Maybe you just have a nice paint job, maybe you have an aggressive alternative style frame bike. You can get anything on here. Let's check it out. One nice feature that this rack offers is the ability to tilt away with the bike's loaded. We'll just pull this handle, it's really close to the front, and we can tilt it down. Tilts pretty aggressively, but still not quite far enough for us to get complete bed access. That being said, we can open it up and see how close we're going to be able to get. If we move this pedal up and out of the way, we get a little bit further. But ultimately still making contact with the very top of our rack there. So we can open it just about all the way as long as that pedal's not in the way. But we still won't want to sit on it or apply any pressure to it because then you're going to be putting that on the rack. But that being said, we have tons of room back here if we just want to reach back in the bed and grab what we need. So it still is nice to have that tilt feature, and it's also really nice that the handle is at the front, so if we have another bike on here, it's still easy to do. Come back to the bottom, tilt it back up, it clicks into place, and now we can get the bike removed. To do that, we'll first start with the strap in the back. Just press this blue button. Everything is color coordinated on this rack, so everything that you're going to be touching and interacting with is going to be blue. Just like this wheel hook right here, press this big blue button, hold on to the frame of your bike. Ours is in there pretty snug, so I'll have to press it pretty hard. And we can release it, get the arm up and out of the way, and we can get our bike off. With the bike off, we'll just put things away on the rack. So I'll slide this down just to get out of the way of that cradle. You can see here that this does have a couple of different grooves in there for your road bikes up to and including your 5-inch fat tire bikes right out of the box. This also folds down to save some space when not in use. We'll put the strap away in the back and talk about this back cradle. Again, it's also got those grooves, but it also pivots to accommodate different wheelbases up to 48 inches. From here, we can get some measurements to see what it's like to add this onto the back of your vehicle. So from the bumper to the furthest point back, in this case, it's going to be right here. That's going to come in at about 33.5 inches. So it does add quite a bit on in this folded out position. As far as ground clearance goes, we'll measure about to where that lever is, and that's going to be just about 24 inches right here. So there's a nice rise in the shank, and the Tacoma sits pretty tall. I'm not going to be worried about ground clearance as far as going up hills or over curbs and bottoming out that way. If we want to though, we could save a little bit of that space, pull that same lever that we used to tilt it away, fold it up towards the car, hear it click into place again, and we'll get that new measurement. Now from the bumper to the furthest point back, it's only going to be about 13.5 inches, so we do save a ton of space that way. From here we can take a look at what the rack is going to cover on the back of the vehicle. So your license plate is going to be pretty heavily obstructed. There's going to be windows where you can see through, but it is going to be blocked for a good portion. Our backup camera is right here. That's also going to be pretty heavily obstructed. This cradle sits pretty much, or not cradle, this mast sits pretty much right in the way of that, and the top half of the rack is in the way as well. Again, there might be some windows where you can see through there, but it's also going to be pretty heavily blocked. Our taillights are going to be pretty fully visible though. It doesn't get wide enough to cover those, and it doesn't get tall enough to where it interferes with our tailgate or our rear window. Right here you can see there's this post that sticks out. That's for your cable lock. It's not integrated onto the rack, but it's included, and you put that in right there. And that brings us down to our shank, which is a 2-inch shank that fits into our 2-inch receiver. It's held in place by a 3/4-inch anti-rattle bolt and this key at the end, or the lock with the key that's going to be key-alike to that cable lock that we just talked about. Overall, this bike rack is probably one of my favorite value options. That 5-inch tire with 60-pound weight capacity right off the bat, tilt functionality, and the fact that handle is super easy to reach if you have another bike on there makes it really nice. It does have a 48-inch wheelbase. It is a little bit on the smaller side of things, so if you want to upgrade that, there are options out there for you, but if you do want a solid value option with all the features that we listed in this video, I think that the RockyMounts Monorail is a really, really nice choice. This again was just a quick look at how it fits on our 2022 Toyota Tacoma.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or a pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Now lastly, we're going over some full speed bumps, and we can see here the up and down action, and this will just be like driving in and out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.